Hi everybody, welcome back. My name is Sanjay and in this video I want to take you through a few books that I think you should consider reading if you want to develop more in the areas of personal finance investing. And they are two categories, and I will cover that specifically with one book specific to personal finance and the other few books are more in the area of investing. There's only one book that I really think you should read in the area of personal finance, and that is The Barefoot Investor. I've given it away, but it is that book. You should read that. The other thing I'll just quickly note before we get into the video is I've now got a phone number in the description below that you can call if you want to chat to me. I'll get into a bit more detail about it at the end of the video, but it's basically if you have any questions about what I've said in the video and you just want to chat to me directly, you can call that number. It's a 03 number based in Australia and we can have a chat. I'll keep the phone line open between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m. on Monday night, which is usually when I've launched these videos. If you call me outside of those hours, you'll go in through to the voicemail, just leave a message and I can call you back later. But now at least you can be confident that I stand behind every video I make, except for the ones that are crap. Ignore that, I didn't make those. So the first book you should consider reading is this one, The Barefoot Investor. Now you've probably heard this book a few times being thrown around, especially in Australia where it's extremely relevant. The unfortunate thing about this book is actually just the name of it, The Barefoot Investor, because initially when you hear about it, you think, oh, it's only for hippies or people who don't take their finances very seriously. But it's actually a book for everybody in Australia that you should really just read it just to get a feel for what the basics of personal finance are. Now, there's a few reasons why I especially like this book. First of all, it's written in a really casual voice. I love that aspect that Scott Pape does. It feels like it's just having a chat with someone. It's very colloquial, very conversational. Love it. Secondly, it's incredibly practical. The topics that he covers in here and the tips that he gives are things that you can implement very quickly. And obviously you need to speak to your own financial advisor around a lot of these things, but a lot of them are just simple things like set your bank accounts up in this way. Thirdly, he also talks about really specific things that are relevant to you if you live in Australia around your superannuation, the housing market, investing versus buying, the share market, self-managed superannuation funds. It's all there. And I haven't seen any other book that kind of goes into the level of detail that he goes into and gives you the level of practical advice that he also talks about. Now, the part in The Barefoot Investor that I think everyone should read and everyone should digest and take time to kind of consider is a bit around setting up your buckets, which is basically setting up how your finances flow around. And that's the part that actually changed my life and that I've used consistently since then. And he basically gives you two options. You can either be the kind of person who has a really complicated spreadsheet, or you can have this bucket system set up. Now, this was me, and I tried all sorts of spreadsheets, all sorts of techniques of managing my finances, and I was always, jumping around, and it never really made a lot of progress. Then I read this, and I did it like overnight, and it set me up incredibly well, and it's just simplified it. Because you don't want your finances to be this like a complicated thing. You want certain aspects of it, especially the operating component, should we say, the day-to-day elements of it, to be really simplified and straightforward. And he covers that off really well. So if nothing else, make sure you read the bit around buckets and setting that up, because that will be like the big game changer for, I think, most people and getting that all set up. Now, he does update it every year, so you can see the version I have is the 2017 version, but always at the start of the book, like a couple of pages in, he indicates what he's changed, what he's updated, and what's relevant still. So very handy in that way. When people ask me about like personal finance investing, the first thing I'm sort of saying to them is sort out your finances, like get the basics right first. And this is the book that really can do that. It's a book that everyone in Australia should really read to get an understanding of how personal finance works. And you should actually implement a lot of the stuff he talks about here and come back to it over time. Now let's get on to the controversial part of my video. The book that I don't think you should read that everyone thinks you should read. Whenever you talk about investing, you want to find out, where do I go to find out more about investing? Most people will recommend you read this book, The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Now, there's a few reasons for this. First of all, it was one of the first few books where it talked about investing to like everyday people, but also the whole emotional framework that you need to manage yourself when it comes to investing versus speculation. The other thing is one of his students was actually Warren Buffett, the super ultra rich guy that you may have heard about. And that's an issue because Buffett said he's read it and it's a great book and everyone's like, well, if Buffett says he's read it, you should all read it. The thing is, since then, there's probably been a whole bunch of other books around investing that have come out that have completely been ignored, basically, because this is one of the first that came out and because Buffett said it was a great book. I guess what I'm trying to say here is, for most people, index investing is fine. Index investing or LIC, buying things like AFIC, the Australian Foundation Investment Company, is fine. You don't need to get a book like this and go into this level of detail to get access to the share market and to get access to the returns that you get in the share market. The reality is, for most people, read the Barefoot Investor and then look at ETFs and whatnot. Don't go too much into this kind of stuff. Now, another book that I think you might find very handy, and continuing on the theme around investing, but simplified language investing, is this book here, is The Acquirer's Multiple. Now, it's a book that I don't think gets enough recognition or gets enough kind of face time. It's by Tobias Carlisle, an Aussie guy who's now based in the US doing quite a lot of work around in investing. I think he runs his own fund. Super good book because it actually just covers off on some key topics in a really casual, easy to read way. It's like a bit more of a field guide, and that's actually what he calls it, a field guide compared to some of the more deeper stuff that he's written. So he's written other books like Deep Value, Quantitative Value, and Concentrating Investing. And those are, I think, are written at a more textbook level, but this book is a much more easy, like entry-level book to kind of get you associated into this area. The most common concept you'll see come up in his book is this whole idea around mean reversion, and it'll come up a few times in different forms, but it's this idea that everything always ends up going back to the mean, and it's important to understand the mean, but to understand where you're picking something up or where you're reading into something in terms of its stage in the cycle. It is very short. It's only 150, 160 pages. Definitely worth picking up for a very quick read. The other thing I will say is, if you're still not happy, you can actually just Google his name or just put his name, Tobias Carlisle, into YouTube, and you'll see a few presentations that he's actually given where he talks about some of these concepts. Do you know what? I'm going to call an audible and I'm going to say, if you had to choose between these two books, pick this book first, okay? Get the Acquirer's Multiple book, read it, digest it, then if you're still keen, read this book. Now, the final book is actually a bit of an outsider, and incidentally, it's called Outsiders. Come on, it wouldn't be a Sanji video if it didn't have a bit of lameness to it. Okay, now this is a book by Thorndike, and he's basically read and researched companies that have performed really well in terms of share market returns and tried to find what are the common traits around them. Now, it is actually a book that Warren Buffett has actually recommended in his 2012 shareholder letter. That's not why I bought it. I think it's actually a book Jeff Bezos recommended, so that's why I bought it. Because his key call out is CEOs basically have two jobs. They have to run the business in a healthy way, and the cash flow it generates, it has to be invested in an intelligent way, or used or deployed in an intelligent way. So in the book, what he essentially does is go through and look at the record of 8 different CEOs and their companies and explain and show how they effectively managed their capital and they allocated their capital, and that's what set them apart. Often when people say, I'm interested in buying a company, I look at these particular aspects of the management team and are the management team good and do they have enough cash and all that kind of stuff. This book actually helps call out what to look for in the CEO and what to look for in the management team, because it actually covers off on the key concepts, especially around capital allocation and how that's more important than how flamboyant the CEO is, how public PR the CEO has. It's actually in this book he calls out the fact that a lot of the CEOs that he talks about very rarely wanted to spend time doing interviews and whatnot. They just wanted to concentrate on running their companies. Some really interesting ideas in here, really worth reading. Has given me a healthy appreciation. At the time of making this video, I work at a large ASX 50 company, should we say, and it's given me a healthy appreciation for how us as a company should be allocating capital and investing into things that will help our customers and help generate returns. Anyway, really good book, bit of a different outlier, outsider book. A lot of people probably haven't heard of this book, but worth reading and worth getting a bit of a feel for. Now, at the start of the video, I did mention how I now have a phone number in my description. So that's a phone number that you can literally call right now that I've set up, and I'm the only one who has access to it. It's set up through Skype. Now, the reason I set up this phone number is for a couple of reasons. First of all, I know when people watch YouTube videos, they're often not signed in. And that can be an issue because if you want to comment or if you want to like, comment, subscribe, which you should do, it's hard or it's annoying and you don't want to do it and you don't want to get your privacy tracked, all that. Fair enough, I understand. But if you do still have any questions about the stuff that I'm saying in my videos and you need to chat to someone, just give me a buzz. And that's what this is set up for. Obviously, I'll just say right now, I can't give you personal finance advice, and you should speak to a professional on that, or tax advice, or any kind of general advice. But if you have, a specific question about something you saw in one of my videos, you're like, at 4 minutes and 52 seconds, you said this, can you clarify what you mean? I'm happy to talk you through it. My plan is whenever I launch a video, whenever I publish a video, which is usually on Monday nights around 6 p.m., between 6 p.m. and 8 p.m., I'll be online and ready to take your calls. But if you call me outside of those times, it will go straight to voicemail. And you'll get this lovely British lady from Skype saying, thanks for calling, leave a message. I will check my messages every day. Leave a message, let me know what time zone you're in. So, you might be in a completely different time zone to me, and I don't want to call you like at midnight. So just, make sure you note that down. Anyway, look, it's just something I'm putting out there. If you're interested, give me a buzz, have a chat about my videos. That's it for today, guys. As always, like, comment, subscribe. If you have any questions, comment them below or give me a buzz. There you go. And if you do enjoy these kind of videos, I do weekly videos around personal finance investing. Might do the odd video about like procrastination and how not to do it. I'm saying that because I've got that in the backlog and I know I'm going to publish it soon. So I just want to give you a heads up. Personal finance investing, that's what it's mainly going to be about. See you in the next video. Bye for now.